Hey, Ghoulash here. Yeah, I'm not exactly thrilled to see me either, but here I am regardless. It's been a long and cruel summer here in Dr. Wolfula's home, the Wolfula. We don't have an AC unit, but instead a small fan facing a tray of ice cubes. Suffice it to say, the ice melted quite fast and was never replaced. Not that it did much to begin with, but it was the thought that counted. Summer has reached its long-awaited conclusion, though. It's going to get colder, leaves will die, pumpkins will be disemboweled. I'm pretty sure you catch my drift. When you think of a Halloween horror film, no doubt you think of Halloween first. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because PJ Souls' head is kind of shaped like a pumpkin.
Totally.
Of course, there are other Halloween horror flicks that are worth your time, like Trick or Treat, or... well, I guess Trick or Treat is it. But what of the other not-so-classic Halloween horror flicks? Well, options are limited, mostly because the only good titles for a Halloween movie are already taken, but occasionally a horror movie comes forward that tries to take on the Great Pumpkin's holiday. Like All Hallows Eve, which came out a few years ago. It's kind of new, okay? And Dr. Wolfula thought it would be a nice warm-up for the season if I reviewed a Halloween horror flick. And besides, I stopped questioning Dr. Wolfula a long time ago about what is and isn't relevant. When I called Dr. Wolfula out on making a video about the Scooby-Doo movie, he pushed me down the stairs. And moments ago, there were no stairs anywhere nearby. We were on the first floor. I still don't know how he did that. So let's just talk about All Hallows Eve and get it over with, shall we? It's Halloween night. You can tell because this one house has a few strands of Halloween lights on a window. Great set design. Some kids, one dressed as a witch and the other dressed as white t-shirt person, explore their Halloween candy haul as the annual public domain horror movie marathon plays in the background. Night of the Living Dead is cut short by the wino babysitter, though, which allows All Hallows Eve to demonstrate the prowess of its child actors.
Alright, seriously, pumpkin carving in 10 minutes. I wanna go get this over with.
Yeah, come on, Timmy, get the hell up. I'm not done counting my candy, loser. Can we just bury him in the backyard and tell my parents we lost him trick-or-treating? Okay, a little advice. If you have a low budget, don't even bother putting kids in your movie. Putting kids in a movie is a gamble even with a high budget. It's very cold.
That should give you an idea of the success rate when it comes to pint-sized thespians. Within the little boy's bag of treats is a VHS tape.
What is that? It's a videotape.
Realistically, the boy would say, I don't know what this is, and would throw it in the garbage. The boy wants to watch whatever is on the VHS, and for some reason, in 2013, this family not only still has a VHS player in their home, but they also have it plugged into their TV, and it appears to be their only movie player. Okay, you know, this could have been an easy fix by simply not showing a smartphone, but you know teenage girls, they can't be separated from their phones, even when they're acting in a movie, apparently. Well, I can't really blame the filmmakers for going with VHS, though. It wouldn't be very scary if the monsters in a horror movie had a Blu-ray burner. The kids want to watch this VHS because All Hallows Eve clearly takes place in Narnia, but the babysitter has her reservations about subjecting these children to an unknown mystery tape that's probably a recording of their parents' wedding night.
It can't be worse than the stuff we see on the internet every day.
Jesus Christ, you're 10 years old. What do you watch on the internet?
Greetings, I'm your host, Dr. Wolfula.
So the babysitter watches the tape first to make sure there isn't any male genitalia in it. And starting out, the video appears to be an old Prodigy music video, but then a clown pops up, of course, who looks like Mickey Rourke with a rubber on his head. Oh, and the thing that Chicken McNuggets are made of makes a special cameo appearance. Okay, it took me a little ways into this movie to realize it, but All Hallows Eve is actually an anthology film. The poster and the trailer led me to believe that this was a movie about a clown terrorizing a babysitter on Halloween. A solid Michael Myers ripoff, but instead the movie is about a babysitter being terrorized by a VHS tape on Halloween night. You see, the tape contains 3 separate stories, and the babysitter stuff is just the wraparound segments. This movie doesn't do such a great job establishing the anthology format it's going for, though, because throughout the first segment, we're shown reactions of the babysitter and kids watching the segment. So it seems at first that we're watching a movie about people watching a movie, and then the movie invades the real world or something. But then the segment happens, and it's a different thing entirely.
That was sick.
What changes with the second segment, though, is that the movie stops showing reactions of the babysitter watching it. So I just thought it was some different movie suddenly, and I had no clue what was going on. Point is, when I watch a horror film, I should be scared or thrilled. I shouldn't be confused about the format or the structure.
That is enough for tonight.
Hey, what are you doing?
You're also probably asking yourself, Ghoulash, if this is an anthology film in the form of a VHS tape, shouldn't it be found footage style instead of having multiple shots and editing? Yeah, probably. That's really the only way I can respond to that question. So, what are the stories of All Hallows Eve? Well, here's another thing you need to know first. Yeah, I'm aware. This review is filled with asterisks. 2 of All Hallows Eve's segments weren't made for the movie. They were actually shorts made by the director Damien Leone years ago. So yeah, half of the movie is repurposed, which is not that big of a deal, except for one thing. The mascot of All Hallows Eve is Art the Clown. Yeah, the only name less intimidating for a clown would be Jeremy. Besides looking like Jocelyn Wildenstein covered in flour, Art also appears in all the segments of All Hallows Eve. A lot like Sam in Trick or Treat, only nobody knows who Art the Clown is.
Think you can just piss all over the place and smear your shit on the walls?
The problem with Art the Clown appearing in all the segments is the fact that the segments were made years apart. So there's some extreme inconsistency in the way Art looks. Like, when the movie starts out, Art looks scary enough to show up in an episode of Seinfeld, but later on the guy looks like he was put inside a microwave a little too long. It made an already confusing viewing experience even more jarring. I mean, are these just 3 different clowns or what? The 3 stories of All Hallows Eve are basically the same thing. They're all about a lone woman under attack by a thing. The only difference really is the thing in question, and the stories have little to do with Halloween besides maybe taking place on Halloween.
It's 1 minute past the witching hour. Halloween is officially here.
The first story is about a woman waiting for a bus at night, which is scary by itself, trust me. But then a clown shows up who goes all Ray Charles on the poor woman. Must be some good stuff. The woman winds up captive in a sewer with 2 other women who are anything but proactive.
Why are you trying to escape? We've tried everything. There's no way out.
The main girl isn't gonna just sit around and chillax before she dies, so she decides to just go out and wing it, facing whoever has captured her. Turns out it's satanic freaks who are essentially less cool-looking ripoffs of the Cenobites from Hellraiser, led by Satan himself, who apparently likes to vape. Believe it or not, this is the scariest of the 3 shorts. It's hard to make a sewer not creepy. The second short is the dumbest of the 3, and funnily enough, it's the only short that was actually made specifically for this movie. Like before, a woman is alone at night, this time unpacking after a move to her new home in the middle of nowhere. Great choice of real estate. Unrelatedly, besides tying all the other shorts together, the woman has a husband who paints, and his newest painting is a mysterious, freaky face that he doesn't remember painting in the first place.
All he remembers is waking up from this terrible nightmare with this image in his head, and the next morning, there's this painting in the living room.
Ooh. The woman keeps the painting under a tarp because it's creepy, but I'm just gonna spoil what the painting is of because it has nothing to do with the story. It's a painting of Art. The clown, I mean. Totally irrelevant, and I'm about to explain why. Some kind of Tinkerbell light crashes into this woman's yard that turns out to be an extraterrestrial, but not the friendly Reese's Pieces eating variety. No, it's an evil extraterrestrial that just looks like a guy wearing an alien mask they bought from Costco, along with a scuba diving suit and a bunch of goofy lights taped on. To add to the intimidation factor, the alien also seems to walk through interpretive dance. I like his moves. It's intensely stupid watching some supposedly advanced alien life form fumbling around in the dark looking for one hysterical white woman. I will admit, though, that it was an interesting idea to make the alien wear a mask that looks like the typical gray alien. It implies that the aliens that we're familiar with are in reality wearing freakish masks. Other than that, though, this short is total garbage.
What makes this shit? Why am I watching it?
She's saying what we're all thinking. As an aside, the wraparound segments of All Hallows Eve are nothing special either. The movie just shows us the babysitter doing babysitter things, which is as boring as this kid's minimalistic room. Again, great set design. I just don't see the appeal in watching a little girl get tucked in between scenes of demon abortions and alien probing.
Did you have a good Halloween?
Yeah,
Did you get enough candy?
I guess so.
You guess so? Look at that bag. It looks like you were trying to find the golden ticket.
Rest in peace, Gene Wilder. For some reason, the final short is suddenly grainy and scratched when the previous shorts were the most crystal clear HD VHS footage you've ever seen. Short 3 has an innovative story. Woman stopping for gas is then chased by Art the Clown. Okay, I'd just like to say that a big problem with this movie isn't that it's about women in danger. You know, that's a horror thing. It's just that the women of this movie are so powerless. Fuck! The woman in Short 3 witnesses a murder, vomits, and casually drives away. Fleeing from the clown to a shed, the woman barricades the door and then she just sort of waits there for a bit, hoping that Art will go away. Of course he doesn't. The movie is nothing but ladies being terrorized by different things non-stop with no story, and it kinda makes me wonder if All Hallows Eve is just the director's fantasies made real. Like, the third woman seems to be rescued by some dude, but then Art the Clown just drives up to them and shoots the guy in the head. You know, this movie had been implying that Art the Clown was magical or something, but then he just starts suddenly using a fucking gun? I don't know what's wrong with this movie. I'm gonna be spoiling the end of All Hallows Eve because who cares? Skip here and all that nonsense. The end of All Hallows Eve is a serious bummer, even for me. The woman's limbs are all cut off by Art, along with a couple of other things. To add insult to injury, the woman has a bunch of derogatory terms carved into her as well. I'm sure she's really concerned about being called a pig when she doesn't have any legs. If you've ever wanted to see whatever this is, though, this movie's got you covered. You fucking weirdo. That was just the ending of Short 3, though. Art the Clown enters the wraparound segments, also known as the real world, and has decapitated the kids that the babysitter was supposed to be watching. Their waxy heads look like they went peacefully, at least. You know, I'm not really sure what the lesson of All Hallows Eve is supposed to be. Usually anthology horror films have some kind of lesson to teach you, but the only lesson that I learned is that you shouldn't play a VHS tape that you found in a trick-or-treat bag, but first you need a VHS player, so it's not a very useful lesson. Oh, and of course, during the credits, the movie tries to make us think that Art is entering the actual real world, but we're not watching this on a VHS, dude. Cut it out. All Hallows Eve sounds a lot worse than it actually is, but it's still not very good. It's just the same thing times 3, plus some wraparound segments. Some demons, a goofy alien, and a clown going after a bunch of ladies is as far as it goes, and as you know, there are plenty of other horror movies that do a much better job of this. There's little reason to watch All Hallows Eve, especially since it ain't much of a Halloween flick, and half of it is recycled shorts that you could just watch on YouTube. Hey, Dr. Wolfula, how would you rate All Hallows Eve?
I give it a condom-headed clown out of Dance Alien.
You know, the folks at home haven't seen you in a while, Dr. Wolfula. What have you been up to lately?
I'm glad you asked, Ghoulash. Let me show you.
Whoa, so, when does Ahhctober begin anyway?
Oh, you'll see.
You have no idea, do you?
No.